Bienvenue, les aventures de Frank et Ben. Quatrième série, Frank and Ben go to a pool party at Genevieve's place. Troisième histoire, Frank and Ben go to a pool party, part 3. Okay, before we go out back and I introduce you to my guests who are either playing tennis or using the pool right now, I'll take you to see those two big trophy fish I told you about. It is with these words that Genevieve, dressed in a splendid tennis outfit and looking as glorious as the summer day, comes into the living room and greets the two boys. After blinking a few times at the sight of her, Frank asks, "What kind of place do you have here, anyway? Is it a museum? Is it an art gallery? Is it a palace? Or is it all three rolled into one?" "It's our humble abode," Genevieve answers, "and very modest by comparison to some houses on this street." "And what a street it is!" Ben exclaims. "We drove, didn't we, Frank? Right past the Prime Minister's house while about 15 RCMP officers were coming out of it." "Yes, that's 66 Sussex Drive, of course, and no doubt those officers were part of his security staff," Genevieve says. "But let me tell you right now, as far as luxury goes, there are many houses on this street that outrank the Prime Minister's." "Do you ever get to see the guy?" Frank asks. "Not really," she answers. "He drives off every day to Parliament in a big black limousine with tinted windows. So if you do happen to catch sight of him, it's only when he's getting in or out of it." "It's too bad he doesn't live right next door to you," Frank says to her. "Then maybe you'd get to know him and have interesting conversations about politics and economics." After making a face at the thought of getting into such discussions, and moreover with a politician who, as she has told Minot more than once, she doesn't even like, she says to Frank, "Well, perhaps that would happen, but then again, perhaps not. You see, people in this neighborhood tend to stick to themselves. For example, there is a very rich Arabian sheik living 2 doors over, and I've yet to meet any of his 5 daughters. "Wow!" exclaims Frank, looking at Ben. "Can you imagine a situation like that in Perkins?" "No, I can't," says Ben, looking first at Frank and then at Genevieve. "Our biggest problem is keeping our neighbors from not walking in on us when we're taking a shower." "Oh, I'm sure it's much different living in Perkins," Genevieve says. "By the way, I'm looking forward to going out there and seeing everything you told me and Minot about it on the bus, especially that beautiful lake called Lac de Plaisir." "Yeah, it's a real jewel of a lake," Frank says, "and to tell you the truth, I can't wait to get you out on it to do a little fishing." "Well, speaking about fishing," Genevieve says, "isn't it about time we went downstairs and took a look at the 2 beautiful fish my father and a friend of his caught off the coast of Acapulco?" Having said this and getting their ready assent, she leads the 2 eager and excited boys out of the living room and down a very wide hallway with some original Van Gogh paintings that, if the boys were more knowledgeable about art, would make them forget about the fish.